Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to your second week of production for your e-card. It is very important that you are producing animation and art assets right now, putting them in proper positioning right now in your card, and not waiting the last second or last minute to make your card. As you will see, certain things that you create in your pre-production, if there's not enough details, will become a problem sometimes in production. That's why we have a very detailed pre-production. That's why I do a very detailed pre-production, a lengthy pre-production with all the details possible, colors, animation, emotion, font, size, format, and everything, you guys. Because when I'm in production, I want to just produce great art, not have to think about other part of my production beside the art itself. All right. If you start mixing up art and technology, then you get poor art because the tools are defining your art now, which is not a good thing. This is your art that needs to be defining your art, not your tools. Okay. So that's why I do very lengthy pre-production, so my production goes fairly easy and fairly well. I've added last week the 12 principle of animation lecture that I done. It is very important that you watch that video. I know it's a little lengthy, but it is very important. It will give you the next skill in animations. Okay, in reality, to become proficient in your business, you're gonna have to master, for me, three things. Okay, the first thing is what I call a tool set, and that's basically in your class how to use Flash, for example. Okay, those are the tool set. They're not very hard to master. You just have to learn them, and then you're doing that, so you should be okay. Now after that, you have two other sets of skill that needs to be mastered. One of them is definitely the constraint of your industry. Basically, for you, that's the web. So you need to know the bandwidth of websites, of people, connection and so forth, to ensure that it's not too heavy or not too light and that it runs properly. Things like that, size for display and so forth. Okay, that's not too hard to master either, and I think you guys are on your way for that one also. Now the third one, and I think that's the hardest one to master, and it's a generic one that has to do mainly with every type of animation. It is not depending on one on tools, for one industry, or on certain rules for certain industry or so forth. It is the overall rules of animations to make good-looking animation. It doesn't get deeper than that. It was created by Walt Disney, and they are still relevant in any type of business. All right, it is very important to use them, especially things like ease in, ease out. That's very important. Curves, to make sure squash and stretch if you do funny stuff. There is all those principles are very important. You need to use in your work at least 7 to 8, if not all of them. All right. So make sure you go through that and you check them out and you apply them to your work. So you actually go to your work and to your animation and say, hey, how can I apply that principle to that animation, and so forth. Okay. So that's pretty much it. I'm all around all the time, you guys, in my office as usual, or online. You can email me to ask me general questions, or on the forum, obviously, or personal question by email anytime. Have a good one. Take it easy.